All right, guys, we are going to be working on lesson 20 in our book. Okay? This is math. This is new material. So today, we may or may not get the actual worksheet. So that means you just got to work along with me while I do examples and try to come up with the answers with me. Okay? So before we start, let's count by our fours to 40. Try to count them. Remember, you can do the humming. 4, 8, okay? Or the whisper. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, right? Eventually, you'll be able to just do it like this. 4, 8, 12, 16, 4, 8, 2, 6, 4. Remember why we count by fours. So we can learn how to multiply without having to use our fingers, along with being able to multiply without needing calculators or to ask someone how to do it. Okay? Things like going grocery shopping and figuring out, all right, I have $4. Each of these costs $1. How many can I get? Or I have $8. Each of them costs $4. How many can I get? Okay? There's our fours. Now, let's count by our sixes again. A little bit more difficult, remember. This one you'll eventually just memorize eventually. Okay? But this one goes 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, 36, 42. 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, 36, 42. When we go backwards, 42, 36, 30, 24, 18, 12, 6. Remember, this is 6 times 1, 6 times 2, 6 times 3, 6 times 4, 6 times 5, 6 times 6, 6 times 7. Okay? Now, today's math is going to be a little difficult. Today, we are going to be working on the tape diagrams again. We're going to be doing some more multiplication, but these ones are two-step tape diagrams. So let's first work on our first tape diagram, okay? It says red, orange, and blue scarves are $4 each. Okay, so all these scarves are $4. Nina buys 2 of each color. Make a tape diagram to show how much she uses. Now the first thing we got to figure out, make our tape diagram, is what information have they given us? What do we know if we want to know how much it's going to cost for all of the scarves? They told us what? That each scarf is $4. You know that. $4. Okay? Now, how many colors do we have? We got red scarves, orange scarves, and blue scarves. And we buy 2 of each. So this is what we would do. So we need a red and another red. Then we need orange and an orange. And then we need a blue and a blue. Okay? So how many scarves do we have all together that we're buying? 6 scarves. And what are we multiplying 6 by to figure out how much money it's going to cost us all together? $4, because each scarf costs $4. Then all we got to do is each of these scarves is $4. So you just got to count by 4s 6 times. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, $24. Simple enough. Okay? Figured out how many scarves we needed. We made our tape diagram. We knew that each scarf was $4, and we knew we needed 6 scarves, 2 of each, and we got $24. Now, this is when the second step comes in. I'm going to erase this. They're going to give us a very similar problem based off the answer we just got. Now this problem says the red, orange, and blue scarves are on sale for $4 each. We knew that. So we'll make our diagram. Red, red, orange, orange, blue, blue. Okay. We knew each of them were $4. And we knew that. How much did we spend all together for all of them? Just did it. $24. You guys figure that part out. Now, this is what they say. Nina buys 2 scarves of each color. She did. She also buys a hat that cost $4. How much does she spend altogether? So the question is, compare this one. Now we have a hat. $4. Okay. Is the question for the most part the same question? Outside of what? What did we add to the question now? All we added was what? She bought a hat. And it's just an extra $4. So, here's our tape deck. We got our big one up there. That came out to $24. Now, we got to throw another tape diagram in. Small one. This is just a small thing. A hat. How much is the hat? $4. Now, we need to figure out how much altogether. We first have how many units are each box? 1. 1 unit for each box. 1 scarf, 1 scarf, 1 scarf, 1 scarf, 1 scarf, 1 scarf. So how many scarves do we have altogether? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 6 units there. Along with another unit, even though it's different, it's still another unit that we're adding, which is another $4, which is a hat. Therefore, we have how many units? 7. Okay. Now, what makes it easy is all of them are how much? Every unit here, hat or scarves, cost how much a piece? $4. What is 7 times 4? Now what you could do is, because everything is $4, you just count 7 times by 4s. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28. $28. Now the other way we would have done it is we would have just taken our answer to this one, which was how much. The scarves cost us 24. And all we got to do is add on another hat, which was only $4. So whatever that price is, you would add it. 4 plus 4 is 8. 0 plus 2, or 2 plus 0 is 2. $28. Okay. First step, we had to find 24. That was our scarves. Second part of the problem is figuring out adding another hat to that, which got us how much? $28. We had how many units altogether? 7. Remember, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we multiplied it by how much everything cost a piece, which was $4, which equaled 28 bucks. You got it this way, where you count up your units, because this only works if they all equal the same amount. If this equaled $5, you couldn't do it. You'd have to add 24 plus 5. But because they all equal the same amount, it doesn't matter in math whether it's a scarf, a hat, a shoe, right? A dog, a cat. If they're all worth the same amount and they want to know how much altogether, you're going to still multiply them by $4 when it comes to math like that. Just like a toy, guys, right? If my video game cost me $60 and my TV cost me $60, and my mom says, how much is it for a video game and a TV? I don't necessarily going to say, well, it's 60 for this and then 60 for that. No, I would just say they're both 60 bucks, so I add them up. It's $120 for both of them. I still need $120, whether I bought 6 $1 things and then another 54 $1 things, it's still going to equal 60, or so on and so forth. Okay? Now, we're going to do one more tape diagram. This one's going to be a little more. Then I'm going to actually let you guys go. Okay? So, here's the Mr. Lim buys 7 plants for his garden. Each plant costs $5. The next day, he buys a rose bush that also costs $5. How much more do the 7 plants cost than the rose bush? So, we first need to figure out, because it says how much more do the plants cost than the rose bush. So what they want us to do is figure out how much the rose bush is. We already know, $5. Now figure out how much we spend on our plants. We'll do a tape diagram. We have 7 plants or $5 a piece. So you're just multiplying these numbers. And then we're actually going to take this answer and subtract it from this to show us more than. Okay? This is what it means. John has 2 markers. How many more markers does he have than me if I have 1? How many more does he have than me? 1 more than me, right? He has 3. I have 1. How many more markers does John have than me? 1 and 1 cancel out, right? We both had 1, and now John still has 2 left. Okay? Same thing. I got 3. John's got 2. How many more markers do I have? 1 and 1, we're done. 1 and 1, we're done. I still have one left. Okay, so that's what they mean by more than. So first, let's figure out how much money these plants cost. Some of you can do it right in your head. You still, if the problem asks for a tape diagram, we have to give them what they ask for. How many plants do we have? 7. How many? How much does each plant cost? Now remember, at this point, we're just figuring out plants. We're not going to add that rose bush into it because they want to know how much more it costs than us. So each of these, $5. Okay? So the rest of these, every plant is what? A group of $5. So now we need to figure out how much it all costs together. So count by fives 7 times. 7 times 5 equals 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, $35. There's our plants. That's our plants. Now, we have a rose bush we got the next day. Little box. That's another unit. A rose bush. How much is it for the rose bush? $5. I spent 35 one day. I need to know the next day I spend only $5. How much more money did I spend on the first day on my plants than the rose bush? Let's see, I don't know if I have enough markers to do. I guess we'll grab. See if we can figure this out. Perfect. Watch. Okay? This is what we're going to do. Each of these are groups of 5. These are each of my bushes. $5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, $35 I spend on one day. Here is the other $5. It's my rose bush. Remember, when we're doing things like subtraction, we're just going to interchange both of them out, and then we're going to see how much more I spend, how much more $5 bills I have over here. Okay? So, here's my 5 for the rose bush. That's the same amount, so now I got to take one of my other plants, put it away. Leaves me with this amount of plants. Each of these are $5 plants. So now I have to count by 5s to see how much more money I spent on that first day. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So the problem with $35 on one day. I have to subtract 5 from it. 5 take away 5 is 0. That's when we exchange our markers. And then 3 take away 0. Start with 3. Don't lose anything. I still have 3, so it is. Therefore, Monday, I spent $30 more. I know it's new. I know it might be a little bit confusing. We're going to probably go through this lesson a couple times before we really start the work. Tomorrow I'll probably go over a couple other different ones that we can do. And then next week we'll start the actual lessons. Okay? It's not going to be easy. But you guys know how to add and subtract. All it's doing is giving us a multiplication problem, and then we're going to do something else with that answer, whether that is adding something to it or subtracting or taking away something from it. Okay? What we got to do is figure out, 1, what we're doing, if we're multiplying or dividing. 2, after we get that answer, what do we have to do with that new part of information? Add to it like we did in the first one, add to the hat, or subtract to it. See how much more money we spent on Monday than on Tuesday. Okay? I spent $2 today. Tomorrow I spent $1. How much more did I spend? $1 more. Okay? So tomorrow we're going to do a little bit more in depth on this, and then probably on Monday we'll start the worksheets. Okay? Have a great